Venezuela in the second half of the 20th century was one of the wealthiest countries in Latin America, built on oil and ambition. But beneath the prosperity, divisions were deepening. The gap between rich and poor was widening. Political corruption was spreading. Social tensions between races, classes, and communities were simmering in ways that the world would not fully see until decades later. And across the wider world, the 20th century was fulfilling the warnings Our Lady had given at Fatima and good success: wars, moral collapse, and a growing rebellion against God. Into this fractured landscape, Our Lady came with a title she had never used before, one made for this moment in history. She did not call herself Queen or Virgin or Mother of Sorrows. She called herself the Reconciler of people and nations, because what the world needed most was not another warning. It was healing. It was the end of division. It was the grace to see every person, of every race and every nation, as a child of the same mother. María Esperanza Medrano de Bianchini was born on November 22, 1928, in Barrancas, Venezuela. Her mystical life began before she could remember it. At the age of 5, after her father had died and her mother was leaving on a trip, the little girl was overcome with fear. As her mother departed, Maria saw a beautiful woman rise from the nearby river and toss a rose toward her. It was Sainte Thérèse of Lisieux, consoling a child who was afraid of being left alone. At 12, Maria was dying of pneumonia. Doctors gave her hours to live. She prayed to the Blessed Virgin, and Our Lady appeared to her, assured her she would survive to serve God, and told her what medications she needed. She recovered completely. Maria grew up, married Gio Bianchini Gianni, and raised 7 children. She was not a nun or a mystic hidden in a cloister. She was a wife, a mother, and a woman deeply rooted in the daily life of her family and her community. She was the kind of person you would meet at Mass, at the market, at a school function. And she was one of the great mystics of the 20th century. For years, Maria had felt an interior prompting that God would lead her to a piece of land with great spiritual significance. In 1974, she and her family purchased a farm about 90 minutes from Caracas, in the state of Miranda. The land was called Finca Betania. Maria knew, the moment she saw it, that this was the place God had promised her. On March 25, 1976, the Feast of the Annunciation, at 8:30 in the morning, Our Lady appeared to María Esperanza at Finca Betania for the first time. She came with her hands open, radiating light, and she spoke. "Daughter, here you have me, with my hands enriched with graces and covered with splendors of light, to call all my children to conversion. This is the seed of glory I offer as Mary, reconciler of people and nations, for I come to reconcile all of you. Reconciliation is the inheritance of divine brotherhood of my divine Son. Daughter, hand on my message to all. I will keep you here in my heart from today on and forever." Over the next 14 years, Our Lady appeared to Maria 31 times, but the apparitions were not limited to one visionary. On March 25, 1984, over 150 people gathered at the farm for Mass, and Our Lady appeared to them all. Children, college students, adults, military officers, physicians, psychologists, engineers, judges. People from every walk of life saw her clearly and distinctly, 7 times throughout the day, for 5 to 10 minutes each, and once at dusk for half an hour. It was this event, and the flood of written testimonies that followed, that prompted Bishop Pio Bella Ricardo of Los Teques to open a formal investigation. In consultation with Cardinal Joseph Ratzinger, then prefect of the Congregation for the Doctrine of the Faith, the bishop declared the apparitions authentic and of supernatural character on November 21, 1987. The site was declared sacred and approved for pilgrimages and worship. Our Lady's messages at Betania are among the most tender and personal in the entire history of Marian apparitions. She spoke not as a queen delivering decrees, but as a mother sitting with her children, looking into their faces and telling them how much she loves them. My little daughter, tell my children of all races, of all nations, of all religions, that I love them. All of my children are the same. There do not exist rich ones or poor ones, ugly ones or beautiful ones, black or white. My little ones, I contemplate each countenance of yours, looking deep inside. How I love you, sons and daughters. I live among you and among all my children, through a law of love. O nation of mine, seek this, your mother, who will be waiting for you with opened arms to mitigate your pain, grief, or sorrow. I am the Mother of Mercy who comes to reconcile all, so you may love one another, support one another, and live a model life. I love you very much. I keep you here in my heart. She spoke of the cross with a beauty that transforms suffering into hope. Daughter, when all men on earth come to carry their cross with love, there will be no more pain nor weeping, for they will live rising each day with my beloved Son. She spoke of eternity with an ache that only a mother who can see both sides of the veil could carry. If men only knew what eternity is, they would do everything in their power to change their lives. And she gave a warning wrapped in a promise. Mankind is currently abusing the graces received and is moving toward perdition. And if there is no change, he will succumb under fire, war, and death. But I am being sent into the world by God to avert or mitigate such a cataclysm. She is not watching from a distance. She has been sent by God into the world to stand between us and what is coming. That is who the Reconciler is. María Esperanza spent the rest of her life carrying out Our Lady's mission of reconciliation. She traveled, she spoke, she prayed, and she remained rooted in her vocation as a wife and mother. Miraculous phenomena accompanied her throughout her life, including the stigmata, levitations, the fragrance of roses, and the appearance of rose petals in her presence. She died on August 7, 2004, and her cause for canonization has been opened. The title Our Lady chose at Betania, Reconciler of People and Nations, speaks directly to our time. Every division we see in the world, between races, between nations, between classes, between political groups, between families, between neighbors, is the fruit of a deeper separation, the separation of the human heart from God. And Our Lady is saying, I have come to heal that, not with politics, not with programs, with reconciliation which begins in the heart and flows outward through a law of love. She said all her children are the same, rich and poor, beautiful and plain, black and white. She said there are no categories in her heart. There is only love, and it is the same for every one of her children. That is the most radical thing she has ever said, and it is the answer to every division the world has ever known. The sanctuary of Betania remains a place of pilgrimage and prayer. The land that María Esperanza donated to the Church is still bearing fruit, exactly as Our Lady promised. People come from around the world, and they find what the Reconciler said they would find: a place of peace, a mother waiting with open arms and the grace to begin again.